All right, my friends, welcome to episode 137 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry, and over there is Anthony, the Dev. He is at SummerSpeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. How's it going this weekend?
It's going okay.
Yeah?
Saw some Wars of the Infinity type.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that picture on Instagram. That screen is fucking huge.
That theater is huge. Anytime you've been up to Seattle, I've never taken you to this theater, have I?
No, I've never been.
I guess it just needs to work out whenever there's something good playing there. It is my favorite theater in the city. It's one screen. It has a balcony. It's enormous.
It looks so huge.
It's the most amazing theater I've ever been in. I will see any blockbuster there first day if I can. And I got seats dead center, best row of the balcony. It's not the bottom row of the balcony because your eye line can get blocked by a safety bar. But if you go one back, you get extra leg room and nothing impedes your view.
Nice.
You just get perfect, enormous screen. It's not IMAX for people that would think it's a big screen, but it's its own thing. It's Cinerama, which was a format back a long time ago, where they would display things on 3 screens. It's a really old Seattle theater that Paul Allen.
The Microsoft.
He owns. Yeah, his Vulcan Enterprises, his company, he owns this theater and has put a ton of money into it. And I don't think it actually makes money. This is just him. He has gone on record saying he always loved going to the movie theater as a kid in Seattle and around the area, and he didn't want to see that go away. So he wanted that big special theater experience. And he pretty much made it. So I love this theater.
Are the tickets there more expensive than tickets at other places, or
$15 reserved?
About the same. Okay.
Yeah, you just pick your seat.
Nice.
You get reserved, and yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Infinity War once I watch. I guess I got to watch Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok before I get to that point. So, and that's fine because I have to. I'm going to watch it at my home, so I have time. I still have to watch The Last Jedi, but I did watch Black Panther though. So.
Black Panther is very good. You kind of need to see that going into Infinity War. It'd be good. You should basically feel like you should watch the last few Marvel movies to get the most out of Infinity War. But it ties into pretty much the last 10 years. So, well, your mileage may vary depending how many you've seen.
I've seen a good chunk of them, but not some of the recent ones and some of the. I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen Doctor Strange kind of stuff. I've seen Guardians. I've seen all the Avenger movies.
Did you see the original Captain America?
Yeah, yes. That's Winter Soldier, right?
No, the one before that.
Yeah, I saw the first one. The one where...
It's called the First Avenger. It's the one where he's in World War II.
Yes, exactly. Yep, I've seen that one.
Weirdly, there's one point in Infinity War that movie becomes relevant. Unexpectedly. I was not expecting it. It was really awesome. So
cool.
And it's not major to understand the story or anything. It's just you're if you've seen that and you can remember it, you're oh, holy crap, that's a thing.
I think I got to get through 4 more weeks of school and grading, and this is crunch time for me.
And kids too.
Well, yeah, the kid obviously, but once kid's asleep at night, I can watch stuff. But right now, it's grading. So if I'm not doing a podcast, I'm grading right now. So that's drawing to a close soon, and then I won't be teaching for a while. So that'll be nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, this episode, I asked Anthony to talk to us about what it's like to crunch and get ready for E3 because he's currently working for a game studio that is headed to E3. So we want to hear about that. Then we'll talk a little bit about Chrono Trigger and then what we're playing. So I'm going to kind of pass the mic to you and just kind of have you tell us what it's like. And I'll ask some questions if they pop up. But I just want to hear what the heck this is all about because it sounds... Yeah, I realized the reason I want to talk to you about this is because I looked at the calendar and thought, holy shit, E3 is in 6 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, that kind of's ticking above my head. There's intense amount of pressure. A lot of decisions just have to be made, and you're just yep, we're running with this right now. Because there's not time to try a bunch of other stuff. But we've spent the last few months doing experiments with different prototypes. So now it's a matter of we've kind of solidified on a core of our design, and it's just making a more presentable prototype for E3. This isn't going to be for anyone this isn't going to be on show floor or anything.
Right.
This will be for meetings with publishers and other interested parties to discuss our design and show off a rudimentary demo. Which, when you talk about a demo in this part, it's not going to have super fancy graphics or anything. It's mostly a mechanical demo to show, we know what we're talking about. We know what the game is that we are talking about. That it's only 5 of us right now, so don't expect any fancy art or anything, but you can imagine where this would go, and we can talk to that and show that we can execute, at least to a point, on the base, the core concept and the fun of the game. Mm-hmm. So it's really a proof of concept at this stage. I mean, nothing might come out of E3. E3 might be a lot more of this general introduction showing and then more meetings over the summer. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't be surprising, but it's the starting place. And so there's a lot that we feel, and myself have a lot of pressure to just execute on a core game loop and core rule set for the game.
And then what's the decision process right now? If you're designing certain things, is there like a hierarchy you have to run that up, or you're just like, here's what I'm doing, what do you think, let's just do it because we've got 6 weeks left?
A lot more on the latter part. Mm-hmm. It's a lot very collaborative. There's still, I mean, like, you don't have to get sign off necessarily from everyone, but you want to be putting stuff in that general consensus is people either are yes, do that, or don't care. Like, if someone says, though, like, I really don't like that idea or that thought, then it's out. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's only 5 people,
right?
And not all of us necessarily care about different parts of the design. Mm-hmm. So it's really, when it comes down to it, it's just a couple people. Usually you have to like your idea too. Mm-hmm. And really it's fast. Like, if you're putting an idea or want to make a change, it's like, we're all distributed, so get people on Skype or use our Discord that we're using and be like, all right, here's the proposed change or idea. Let's discuss this now. Let's get something hammered out within like a half an hour to 45 minutes. And okay, that's set. All right, let's start. How does that change what we're trying to implement? Does it? Things like that. But then there's sometimes whenever, so I'm technical game designer, I think is my title. Mm-hmm. So I do a lot of coding and game design. My head's been a lot more in coding right now than design. But even whenever you're coding up something like this, there's a lot of small design decisions that come up all the time.
Right.
Like, how much health does something have? How much damage does something like? And it's not like you need to stop and ask someone for that. You're just like, well, put a baseline in, plant a flag, work from there. Any values can be adjusted later. Like, make your best guess for now. Because really, even on the team, people just want to see the progress and then just expect that you'll be tuning it as you go over the next 6 weeks.
And then, so for a team of 5, you're the technical game designer. What other roles are there on that small of a team getting something ready for E3?
There is I think there's 2 of us that are technical game designers, which we're doing the heavy lifting on the programming right now. Mm-hmm. There is producer, project manager, program manager, owner.
Mm-hmm. All those for one person, basically.
Yeah, basically. And then there's a kind of like operations person.
For like logistics or something?
Yeah, a lot of logistics, a lot of the like keep the process moving, keep things. I guess they would be more the project manager. Mm-hmm. They're picking up a lot of the stuff that's project manager, the web page, source control, any kind of like infrastructure piece, like almost a COO in some ways. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't have a COO because it's just an LLC, but they're handling anything that falls into like operations.
Yeah. Is there an artist on the team?
No.
Oh, okay. So okay. So you're doing coding. Are you also developing some sort of modeling or some sort of pixel? I don't know what kind of game you're making. So
this is the thing. I won't go into the game right now.
Well, no, of course not. But I'm just thinking like whatever is on screen.
Right now, for this current prototype, we are choosing to run with Unreal. Mm-hmm. They released a bunch of Paragon art assets.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Guess what I'm using for a prototype?
No fucking way. That's awesome.
I mean, it can't ship with it, but
No,
it
of course.
works really well for getting something that looks decent
Dude,
out
that's
of
awesome.
a prototype. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons right now we chose Unreal.
Right.
It's just because we could get up and running really fast with something that looks good.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't the case, yeah, then it would just be me moving like capsules and spheres and cubes on a board.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Without an artist, like if you were going from scratch, it would be like shapes basically.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Which people are like, man, that must be bland. I'm like, you can do a lot to make shapes pretty exciting to play. And in some ways, having very abstracted art and models and environments when you're doing prototypes and design helps because you don't get stuck into the minutia of the details. You really are just looking at it from like a core game loop fun standpoint.
Right.
Because there's nothing else. And so you start pushing on like ways that you can give people feel and impact off of it. And it's not hard from a programming standpoint to say like, oh, when something moves, like adjust move speeds and accelerations, decelerations to make things feel better. It makes screen shake is a great one. Something gets hit, the screen shake, it feels good. Doesn't matter that it's not fancy art, it still feels good.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of trickery you can do there, and I'm gonna be doing a lot of that. And that's just something you do. And Unreal has built-in UI stuff, some basic UI. Like I'm not building out like fancy drawn UI, but it's just like, here's text on the screen with status bars and things like that. Like whatever, it works. It conveys the information that's needed.
I have a weird question. It's slightly on a tangent, and we'll allow me this diversion briefly. Was watching a friend play God of War, and watching it. You know, when you move Kratos around in the environment, like you always see his back, and the environment kind of spins.
Yep.
On a technical level, when you're moving like the left joystick, are you actually moving the model, or are you moving the environment instead?
No, you're moving the model.
Oh, okay.
You're not even moving. Well, in that case, you're moving the model, and I bet the camera is attached to the model on some form of a spring arm.
Oh, okay.
It's a term, but basically it's wherever they have the camera above, like when you're playing, it's above his like right shoulder slightly. So they just have it attached back there to the model. So as the model rotates, the camera just rotates with them.
See. Okay.
And if it clips on a tree or something, it will either the tree will disappear. It will now know that there's something between me and Kratos, make that go away. Or if it's something that's fully blocking, it will move the camera in so that it doesn't go away. Like it's basic stuff, but you don't rotate the environment. They will keep the environment pretty static because I assume that they're doing it in God of War because everything else does it. They bake lighting. So they'll level design it all out, and they'll put lights somewhere, and there'll be dynamic lights in games too, and plenty of that. But there's like static overhead, like this is just a global light, and that gets actually built into the level, so it doesn't actually have to be rendered out.
Right.
Like you hit bake, and it bakes it into the textures. So that's just how they look
from whatever angle you're at.
Yep. So it's just baked, so you don't have to, so that the GPU doesn't have to do any calculations on it.
Right. Cool.
A lot of trickery goes into 3D games.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to ask that
trickery.
question, because I was watching. I was like, it seems like he's staying, and I was getting into like a heliocentrism or something. What is actually the center of this universe? So
yeah,
that's cool.
Kratos is the center of the universe.
Yeah, woo-wee, that game. We'll talk about that later for sure.
Yeah.
So another. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In terms of, I don't know exactly when you started on this project, but you knew E3 was looming. Like, what does the timeline? What does the schedule look like? Like, when's the how many deadlines are there? How many gates or whatever? When's the final deadline to like get something going?
Every 2 weeks. I think in the next 2 weeks. So we have sprints that last 2 weeks, and we just finished one in 2 weeks. Our first fully playable build needs to be in 2 weeks.
Okay. So that's going to be 4 weeks out from E3, basically.
And then we'll revise and make a second playable. And the second playable would probably be what goes to E3, honestly.
Wow, that's aptly
tuned,
titled.
of course.
Yeah,
It's like, and that's like a week and a half before E3 is to have like, this is what we're taking.
And then do you guys get together and practice the pitch, or is that all on the founder?
I won't be talking in the pitch. I'm
Oh,
sure.
okay.
I'm going to be around.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be technical things on that I'm putting on display, and of course something's going to go wrong. I'm sure.
Yeah, no shit.
And I don't want to remotely try to fix things. Like, I just need to be there to be able to fix things that go wrong.
Right.
If they go wrong, when they go wrong.
Yep.
So, yeah, I won't be doing the talking, which I'm fine with. I don't really want to do that talking.
Yeah.
Someone much more charismatic than me can do that.
Right. You're basically trying to convince people to publish you, I guess. So.
Yes.
Yeah. What's like, just in general terms, of course, what's like the best case scenario coming out of like this level of E3 presentation or pitch?
Signing a publisher, like, well, you wouldn't sign here, but being like, okay, we want to move forward with this, continuing the talks with someone, and then within a few months signing a development, a contract with what the milestones would look like and the whole thing, and what the funding would be.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the likely scenario if that's like the best case? What usually happens in these kind of
More
situations?
talks.
Oh, okay.
Like, we'll pique interest. People will want to continue to talk to us, and we'll continue to talk to them. And they'll
Yeah.
want to see more and evaluate more and the whole thing. Like,
Cool.
That's the most likely thing. Is this will lead to further talks and discussions. Really expecting more any type of publishing contract or deals, anything like that, to be more towards the end of summer and the fall.
And then I assume most of those meetings are set up ahead of time, but is there a point
Yes.
where like someone hears like that you talk to someone and they're interested in what they heard about you guys and would say like, hey, why don't you come have a meeting with us too?
I'm sure that could happen
Yeah.
if they have time. Like, most of the time, everything just gets super booked.
Everything's booked, right?
But you never know. I mean, when the founder was down at GDC, he did a couple of impromptu meetings with a few other people that he had ran into down there, and they're like, "Yeah, let's talk." Like, so
That's cool.
it can happen.
I imagine like I just keep imagining like at these events, the bar at night, people just run into each other and then ideas spark and people say, hey, let's talk about that more or whatever.
Yeah, it totally can happen like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. It's stressful. It's exciting. I never had to do this before, so get to learn all sorts of new things and stuff about business.
Yeah, because first of 5, I guess, in the company, that's pretty ground floor. You have to know more than just the coding, I guess, or at least be familiar with the rest of it too.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah, right.
I'm doing a lot more heavy lifting on the code than I typically would be doing, but it's fun. I get to do a lot of implementation, like lots of networking right now.
Yeah.
Which I haven't really dug into a huge amount, and now I am, and it's always fun to learn new things. So terrifying. Sometimes I have imposter syndrome, which I think always happens, but
Yeah.
I pretty much solve it all the time. So I've had imposter syndrome my entire career at times, especially when you're thrown into something new.
Yep.
Completely new, and you're like, can I do this? And then you just buckle down and start working at it and do it.
And you do it. It's insidious, that imposter syndrome. You think when they find out what I'm really like or what I really can do or not, they're not going to be happy. Yeah, it can kind of motivate you, but man, it can be debilitating too.
It can be very debilitating. It's weird though when I'm like, I've been doing this for over a decade now, yet I still have imposter syndrome at times.
I mean, in my sphere, I just won. I'm the best fucking professor at my school, and I'm still like, wow, I fucking suck at this. Like, wait till I find out what I really do, you know? So, it never goes away, man. Unfortunately.
Which is sad, but...
It is, but it also is just, I think it's part of our wiring.
Yeah, it's just, you have to work through it, and you get through it, and it's fine.
So, how many hours a day do you code right now?
Pretty balanced overall.
Okay.
Like, our schedule makes it so, because this is a company we don't want to do a ton of crunch.
Mm-hmm.
So like this weekend was very much a weekend where I'm like I'm not working,
Right.
and I'm but daily like I get down to my computer around 8:30 in the morning, and I work until like 5:36 at night.
Wow.
I take like a half an hour for lunch, and usually during that time I try not to work. I do other things. So I mean, longer days.
Yeah.
I make sure to take breaks though, so I don't like burn myself out. And then there are times when I'm just instead of coding, I'm like, okay, what's the next big task in code I need to do? There's a lot of time sitting and like taking notes and writing about like how do I want to approach this,
Right.
breaking the problem down into pieces I can do. So like it's a weird thing. Like when people say like they program all day, I'm like, no, you don't. Or I guess you could, but there's an aspect to it where it's also planning for the code that you're going to put down.
Right.
In a weird way, making an outline. So yeah, my days can be mixed, and then I'm sure, like not this weekend, the weekend before though, I was doing coding at night for some stuff. Not because I was like I have to do it, but I was like I had an epiphany on like a way I wanted to handle something, a better way to do something, and I was like I'm going to put that in.
Yeah.
So I did,
and it worked.
It did. It was
nice.
great.
That's nice when it works. Did you get a chance at E3 to kind of be a tourist a little bit?
I bet I will some more than the owner.
Yeah,
will be.
right.
Like I bet I'll get some time to just wander, which I'm looking forward to, and not because it's also super loud and insane.
Yeah, right. And it's public
super
now
overwhelming.
Too, so, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun though to look around, but I'm sure that the lines will be so crazy that it'll be hard to get a chance to play anything.
Yeah, there's I wouldn't even try to play anything there.
Yeah.
Again, that's the whole thing. I'm like, it doesn't matter to play it. Like,
right, you'll get to play
I'll
it
get to
eventually.
play it eventually, and the one that won't be on the floor but is going to be shown there is Cyberpunk.
So it's gonna be shown behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen all the rumors that said that they're going to be showing it behind closed doors.
Damn.
And there's people on the Reddit that are like, "Oh, it's going to be out this year." I'm like, "Bullshit."
Yeah, right. No way, man.
It's fall 2019 at earliest, probably 2020.
Yeah, I bet you they might say fall 19 as a date and then delay it. So
Yeah.
I'm interested because of who it is, but I could not care less about the motif or whatever the theme or.
Oh, come on. Edgy punk anti-corporation living through the dystopia that we're building for ourselves.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's what's happening now.
I know, it's really sad.
It is really sad. I like to escape in my games. I don't know. Well, I mean,
I'm escapism.
Yeah,
it's not
it
escapism
did.
anymore.
Yeah, as we get closer to our future, yeah, that's for sure. Cool. Well, God, it sounds like a lot of work, but
it is a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. This is what I do. This is what I love to do.
Right.
So it's exhilarating, even though it's stressful and scary. But usually the excitement is the emotion that stays up top. So
well, and it's nice to have a short deadline. Like I know it creates a lot of work right now, but then it's like, okay, this is done middle of June. At least this stage is done middle of June.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, keep us posted on obviously the things that you can tell us. But it's,
I have to be. I'll be happy to talk all about it once I can. Eventually.
Absolutely. Well, good luck on that. And now we'll move on to Chrono Trigger, which is just you because I had no chance to play it this week due to my
I really
work
only
schedule.
played like an hour long. Like you did the Dalton fight, right?
That's where I finished the Dalton fight. I went to 10,000
and then you went to the under.
No,
you went to the under.
I didn't go to it. I was about to.
Okay, so yeah, you go to because he warps away, and then you touch the warp, and it takes you to the next spot in the next dungeon. And you spend I spent probably like 45 minutes, an hour there, just wandering through that dungeon. It's doing a couple small puzzles, and then I got to the next boss and got stomped so hard. 3 turns, wiped.
Oh wow! Like 3. Oh wow! Okay, that was.
I
quick.
got wiped quickly.
Oh shit!
I was, and this is the weird thing. Again, I have a save that is past this from over a decade ago, and I don't remember doing this fight. Like I have no memory of this fight, and the thing is, when I did that save a decade ago, I was in Italy. I didn't have guides. I didn't look anything up. I just played the game.
I wonder if your stats are just wildly different, or your equipment or something.
I don't know. I have to. That's where I feel like I need to. There's a save right before the boss, so I just need to go through my like items, figure out like if I need to change up equipment. Just what can I do? Maybe my party composition. Because wow, it was a lot of damage really fast. I was not expecting.
I'm assuming this is
maybe
not.
I just got a bad roll as well.
Yeah,
like,
right. RNG
there's definitely
against
like
you.
they could have targeted things a little bit differently.
And this is. I'm assuming this is not Lavos.
What's that?
This is not Lavos right now. This is a different.
No, it's not. You're very quiet to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing's changed, and the levels on my side are still good.
Oh, never mind. My headphone volume got rubbed against my shirt and turned down.
Well, there you go.
That was random.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
technical
really
problem solving in live. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'm like, why is everything so quiet and muted?
Maybe you're
because
going
my
deaf.
volume. No, please no.
But not Lavos. It's a different boss.
It's not Lavos.
Okay.
Yeah, I was unexpecting it, not ready for that. So now I have to figure out what to do.
Awesome. I hope to get. I will get through there. Things slow down a little bit. Although next week is my wife's birthday, so there'll be some stuff revolving around that.
Yeah.
But I should be able to find some time once these essays are done this weekend. I'll be grading some more tonight. Yay!
Yay! All the grading.
Lots of grading. It's a great job, but this is the last real essay that I'm giving him a ton of feedback on. So I just want to make sure it's good. These essays are actually going to the president and the vice president and the faculty senate president, and I want to make sure they're as good as they can get. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's move on to what we're playing. I'll start. Played a couple of things this week. My friend and I, Brad down here, started playing Thursday nights for about an hour, StarCraft 2. So we did another Archon mode, and that was pretty fun. Just kind of figuring out more about managing your resources and what to build when, and there's just a ton to keep in mind all at once.
Yes.
It's just a fucking lot. And we did another mode where it was him and I against AI, but we were on separate teams against the AI. So I was able to like manage my whole base and everything by myself, and that's when it started to click. That's when I started to realize, oh, this is what all this stuff is supposed to do, and building up your army, putting down like your supply depots, I think, to make sure you have enough something in order to build more stuff. So that started to make more sense, and then we brought the thunder down on the enemy, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm starting to get it more. I really just need to go through the campaign and figure out each component piece by piece.
Yeah.
But it's for how much there is. Maybe that's why I like it. But there's so much to keep in mind. It's just you're never bored. You're never like I don't know. There's no downtime.
There's not. That's an RTS. There is no downtime. Yeah. Like there's always something to keep in mind and be doing.
Well, I can see why some people really like RTSs, because I think it takes a certain kind of person who just likes to tinker and likes to figure things out on the fly and keep tons of things in their head. It's not a genre that I love, but it's something that's using my brain in a different way that I'm enjoying. So it's something that I would never have played otherwise without him saying, "Hey, why don't we do this?" So it's been a lot of fun. And then I went to his house Saturday, and we finished Halo 4. Man, I don't understand the story to Halo at all. In broad strokes, I get it. But
I never played 4.
Oh, yeah? Wow.
I only played up to 3.
Okay.
And then I was basically done at that point. And I was like, once Bungie was off of it, because 3 finished the story for the most part. I felt like I was done. And I was just done. I really was. I was like, I'm not coming back for more. I'm done, guys.
It's just... I don't know. There's a lot of lore, and my friend really likes the lore, and reading the books and the comics and watching the movies or whatever. There's a lot to dig in there, but just what's in the game itself is it reminds me of Destiny, where there's stuff there that you could dig into, but they don't really present it in a way in the story that is compelling to me in the slightest. So, and I'm
most compelling thing about Halo's lore is the stuff that's not the games.
Ooh. Oh, you mean outside the books and all that stuff?
Yes, the books, comics,
right?
The radio drama between Halo 1 and Halo 2.
Well, and that what was the one before Halo 5 came out? The podcast. I fucking loved that. That was amazing.
It's great storytelling there, and
Yeah.
like you get into the world and the characters and everything, and then you play the game, and you're like, "This sucks. I want that.
Pretty much. Like
Game is not that. I hate
people
this."
people love the podcast. And when they played 5, they were like, "This is nothing to do with the game at all. Why do this set up nothing?" Which sucks. But I do want to play 5 now, just because I'm a completionist and I want to get there. But my friend, we're doing it once a month, going over to his house, playing for 4 or 5 hours. He wants me to go on to Reach next, so I think that's what we're going to be doing
Reach
next.
is worthwhile.
Yeah, I've heard he's said lots of good things about it, so we'll see. But unfortunately, we can't play 5 together because there's no couch co-op on 5, so it's just single player. You can't play with your friend next to each other. You can play online, obviously, but I do not have an Xbox, and to be honest, my friend is like a gamer. He has everything and games on everything. He has about 7 games on Xbox. Everything else is on PS4 or PC. So he, it's just his.
The Xbox is for a very select games.
Yeah, it's his Halo machine basically, and fucking hell, another month where we sat there for like 15 minutes trying to figure out how to get 2 players to play on fucking Halo. And then we, trying to go through all the settings, like figure out how to sign me in and whatever else. And it turns out, because I'd logged in last time, it was already automatically done. So we were looking for a setting that wasn't there. So we kind of outsmarted ourselves there. It wasn't really the Xbox's fault, but it was chugging. It was very slow getting from screen to screen. The UI on the Xbox is just, it's fucking garbage.
Slow.
It's fucking garbage, man. Like the PS4 is much better. Not to fanboy it up here, but goddamn. It was not something that was enjoyable, but playing the Halo was fun. And then after Halo, he just got a PS4 Pro, and I was like, do you have a God of War over there? Could you load it up and play a little bit? I need a hit. So he's already beaten the game, so he's doing a bunch of side quest stuff that didn't really spoil shit. But God, that game is gorgeous. It is amazing. It's insane
how good looking that game is. It's like one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Well, and he was just, he has it on the Pro, but he's on the 1080p TV, but it still looked great. And the runes and the sockets and the equipment, like there's a shit ton of RPG stuff in this game.
Yes.
God, did you play any more of it this week?
No, because we'll get to that.
Oh, this is a good segue.
Got completely sidetracked. So there's Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
I did a little bit of Monster Hunter. I've done probably an hour and a half this week.
What? You didn't get sidetracked by Monster Hunter? Oh shit!
No, I got sidetracked by a Kickstarter game that I didn't realize. I was like, oh, that came out this week that I backed 2.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Battletech.
Oh, is this the one where the gender thing people were talking about?
Oh God, don't get.
I mean,
why is this a? Yes.
Okay, this is shorthand for me to know what game it is.
Yeah, it is the thing where they put in whenever you select, you can choose your pronoun, and that pisses some people off for whatever reason because people are dumb. It literally is a little toggle of you can be he, she, or they.
Right.
Oh no! How
those SJWs, they're ruining everything.
She.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't change your game at all, guys.
No, it really doesn't. It is a trivial thing. So yeah, I mean, it's I backed this thing 2.5 years ago. Battletech is a tabletop miniatures game, role playing, a bunch of stuff that I've been into since I was in 7th grade.
Well, this is where your other nickname comes from, like the one that I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the Aiden Pride.
Yeah.
Which was me being very young and being very infatuated with that character in Battletech. But so that came out, and I was like, I was kind of worried about it at the beginning because the game infuriates me in so many ways. From making a game standpoint, it doesn't respect my time. There's waits for everything all the time, just these weird pauses, and but I can't stop playing it.
Oh, all right.
It's very much more of a the first night I stayed up to 2 a.m. playing.
Damn, dude!
I just got lost in just another mission. It's cool because you play a mercenary company of these big giant mechs, basically, and there's a whole campaign storyline, but you are a mercenary company, so you're taking contracts and doing different missions to get money and salvage to upgrade your mechs and build new mech, whole thing. There's just a bunch of stuff going on. You have your pilots that all can be upgraded, and it's just, even with all these pods, I'm just like, oh, I get back from mission, I'm like, oh, I just got these new weapons, and I got a new mech, and my pilot's leveled up, so let me tweak all that stuff and like modify my mechs with new parts. Well, like, let's see how this all. Should I go to? No, let's just see how this works. I'll do another mission. Rinse and repeat that loop, because you always have new things to mess with once you get back after a mission. And
sounds like Stardew Valley, man.
And having an XCOM-ish type base that you're upgrading as well. Like, yeah, I kind of got obsessed. So,
how many hours you put into this week? Like 10?
That's cute.
Oh God, are you fucking kidding? You're not kidding. Oh my Jesus.
25.
Okay. Holy shit. Yeah, I was like, oh, probably 10 at the most. Yeah, what the hell am I thinking? Whoa, boy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's. I'm glad that you got you backed a game on Kickstarter that you liked.
It's really, I like it. I really do. I want it to be better in so many ways, but in the ways that it counts, it's really good, I guess. Like, I can put up with all the annoyances because it's good in the fundamental way that you want games to be good. Like, I like playing it. I like it's a tactical game, so
yeah,
turn-based tactics with giant robots that have all sorts of parts, and it kind of sits in this weird place of budgets where it's not indie, not AAA, like it's just this middle ground. So it definitely has areas where you're like, wow, could have really used some more budget there. I think you could have used some voice acting, but okay.
So it's just text.
Like it is with some voice acting in some places. Like, but the models and the way that they move and everything, you're like, these should, because whenever you're outside of missions, like you can zoom in and like talk to people through text and everything, but you're like, this looks like it feels like it should have voice acting. But of course it doesn't, because that would have probably blown out their budget completely.
Right.
So I don't know. There's like this weird mix, but it's doing really well on Steam. It in a game called Frostpunk came out.
Oh yeah, by the guys who did War of Mine.
Yeah. So Battletech and Frostpunk have been going back and forth as the like top selling game on Steam all week.
Awesome.
Both have sold somewhere around 500,000 copies in their first week.
How do we know that now? With Steam Spy is defunct.
The Steam Spy is not defunct. They give very big, broad ranges now. So both Frostpunk and Battletech he says they have between 500,000 and 1 million sales.
Damn.
He's tracking these algorithms off of a bunch of other sources and then concurrent players in the game.
Right.
Which Valve makes public everywhere.
Right. They want people to know how many people are using their service. And
Frostpunk guys actually put out their sales midweek and said that they were at 252,000 copies sold.
Oh, wow.
And his algorithms had estimated it at 249,000.
Oh, so he's real close.
He was like, okay, I'm within 10%. Like, and he feels like the algorithms for games that are selling significantly is within 10. He has a range of about 10%. Right. So he still feels pretty confident. It's the low selling games, like things that sell less than like 10,000 copies, that he's like, I have no clue.
Yeah, the margin of error doesn't really give you much to you don't know.
Yeah, so he's just like, fine, but these big ones he can get some good estimates on. So it looks like it was a good week for indie studios on Steam.
Well, I've heard so much positive buzz about Frostpunk.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah. It's one I added to my wish list, and I'll be waiting on that one a little bit. But looks like something I can get into.
I keep adding games to my list to splurge at the end of the year. So, although what fucking time do I have to play games right now, anyways? But
yeah. So there's been many late nights.
Awesome.
Stomping my big mechs around, shooting lasers, and punching other mechs.
What a great thing to do late at night. Sounds pretty fun.
It's true. I was not expecting this game to grab me like it did, but there's a lot of nostalgia there as well.
Something to rest you away from Monster Hunter is fucking pretty good.
There's so much to do in Monster Hunter. God, I need to play more.
Yeah.
They just added the Devil May Cry.
Oh, they got Dante in there.
So has the Dante armor set, and it's really good, so I want that.
Yeah.
There's the other timed quest that ends on Thursday, which I still need one more thing from that. So that's the big like multi-part siege, multi-party thing. I assume new stuff will come out within another week and a half,
right?
Because that's what they're doing now. I guess
that's their cadence.
It's a lot.
As long as
definitely feel like Monster Hunter is the game that I'm like, I could just say I'm not going to play any other game ever.
Right.
Until they're done releasing content for this game.
I kind of feel that way about Assassin's Creed Origins. Like, there's just so much to do in the game, and they're adding so many cool, not expansions, but DLC packs that just, like, with the amount of time that I have, I'm understanding casual gamers now where they buy, like, one game for the year because there's so much in that game to do that they don't, if you only play, if I play Assassin's Creed Origins, like 2 or 3 hours a week at most, then it's going to take me a hell of a long time to get through that game.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, like, I want to play God of War too. I just need to put the time into that.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll find time before.
I just want to more than anything with God of War. I just want to sit down with it and have a big stretch where I can sit down with it and just play through like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Just and do a couple sessions like that to just finish the game out.
Right.
Because that's how I played the first 3. Like, we're in big chunks, and it just felt better.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get through 3. I'm halfway through it right now. I'd like to finish that before I get that from you. So yeah, I think we got some time. I'm hoping to get 3 by the time my summer starts because I'll have plenty more time. So
yes.
The last game I'm playing obviously is Hearthstone on my iPad. They just released. I was talking to my friend who gave me the tour at Blizzard. He's like, "Oh yeah, we just released the Monster Hunter. That can't be right.
No.
Monster Hunt, maybe, expansion for Witchwood, which is basically the dungeon run for the new cards. And it's awesome. It's just a lot of fun.
God.
It's the same dungeon runs as the previous ones. Kobolds and Catacombs, I think, was free for everyone. This one might not be. I'm not sure. But just, I love the cards. And I don't remember if Echo was a mechanic from earlier expansions or not.
I don't think so.
Man, the Echo thing is fucking OP. I love it when I get basically what it does is you have a card like I'm playing a Paladin, I think. I'm playing a Paladin, and there's an Echo card where it's just a 2/1, 2 attack, 1 defense, and it has Echo, and then when you play it, it restores 2 health. And it costs 2 crystals or whatever, but every time you play it, it goes back into your hand. So you can keep playing it as long as you have enough crystals. So late game, you have 10 crystals or whatever, you can play it 5 times. And so the Echo just means it goes back to your hand when you play it for that turn. So there's several cards that have Echo that's just like, it just feels OP, basically. And it's just really satisfying. So I've been building some of the decks that I've been reading online and some of the decks that come with the recipes with the Witchwood expansion. And it's just real hard not to buy more cards. I'm just like, I could just spend a little bit of money.
Well, Blizzard's got you then.
They fucking do, man. I'm back hard in this game, and it's just nice to be able to play. For a while, I couldn't use my left hand, so I'm just using my right hand. Yeah. Just that was a game I could play, and now I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm in. This game is.
Yep. And the iPad's the perfect place to play it.
Fuck, it's amazing. I remember playing Legends, the Bethesda. On my phone, I was like, this is too. I can't read. This is too small. But on the iPad, it's those card games. I just need Gwent, man. The card games are great on the iPad. Just give me Gwent on the iPad, and I'll be happy.
Come on, CD Projekt, do it.
They just released a bunch of updates to the game for the console, so I'm hoping
they should do it.
Fingers crossed, man.
Guys. Yeah.
Well, we didn't even talk about Nintendo stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. There's a bunch of good Nintendo stuff that just came out.
I saw that E3 for them should be pretty fun.
Fuck, man. The Smash is going to be their top game, so I can't wait. Oh, I know I said Fire Emblem was going to be the one game I bought full price.
But they specifically said that it was all games coming in 2018.
Right, which means I hope Fire Emblem will be talked about.
Or if it's not talked about, that they've got delayed and it's not in 2018.
That's like the one game I want this year. I can wait, but I have so much else to play and so little time.
Yes,
so.
Pretty much.
The baby game right now, which is a lot of fun too. Well, yeah, that's been one episode here of Prof and Dev Play Games. This is episode 137. Again, he's at Summerspeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. If you like us, please rate us. Really glad to have you here, and we'll be back next week to talk some Nintendo and whatever crazy stuff crops up.
Yep.
All right, folks, have a good night.
Night, everyone.